All right. Um, we have our friend Stephen from RJP Estate Planning. In a moment, you'll learn while putting off your estate plan can be devastating for people you love. And hang out, and you're going to find out right now. We're making history around here. This is the first time Stephen and I have been live on video together. Look at you.
Hey, Chris, good morning.
Good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just
We're,
feels like Monday.
feels like Monday. How was your Memorial Day weekend?
It was good. Just try not to murder the kids.
That's always a good place to start.
Um,
No
yeah, I
pool
feel like
party
I
with
feel like I have two future Mendez brothers sometimes living with me.
his ways.
Sometimes, like 6 and 4-year-olds say some of the craziest stuff. I don't know if they're really psycho or if they're just trying to push buttons. But um,
So I know
yeah, I kind of have to sleep with one eye
I know,
open.
I know Mrs. Levine is very, steady, and so you're saying this is coming from you, is what you're saying. You're the influence on the children. Is
Probably, yeah.
that's the way it works in my
I'll
household.
take the blame. Yes,
I
dear.
mean, Mrs. D is the steadying influence at our house, so I know how this
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
Uh,
She's the yin of the yang.
so we're making history today. You and I are talking live now on video, and then we're going to meet for the first time in person
That's
later.
right.
So
I'm excited.
after hanging out with Dave, I forgot what the lawyer's name was that I met the last time. He was
It's
very
either,
good too. But
it's either Clint or Dave. We have two Daves. One's the attorney. One's Dave Pierce.
I guess it was the other Dave. So
Yeah,
I did Dave, of course, the who was the first guy we met. He was great. I mean, and the second lawyer was fine. The lawyer the second time was great. But Dave in the beginning is so good at explaining the basics of this. You can tell he's a pro.
yeah. He's been doing it for, I mean, probably 30 years, and um, it's cool because he's at the point in his career where I don't really think he needs the money. I
Yeah.
think he's just here to get away from his wife and just to be busy and have a schedule. So he just has that approach where he'll just tell you exactly what he thinks. He's brutally honest. He's not
Yes.
trying to smooze or impress. He's just this is it. You need this or you don't, or you know. So I love his brutal honesty. He's one of those guys that yeah, he's a character. If you meet Dave Pierce, you will walk away. You won't forget him. We'll say that.
No, it's true. And again, I think he did just a very nice job explaining to folk. I can see him explain to folks who don't understand the technical part of this in a
Yeah,
very clear way. So
yeah, yeah. He makes it easy. It simplifies it. He kind of dumbs it down for everybody. And you walk in, you think, okay, this is going to be a lot of information thrown at me. It's complicated. It's really not. I mean, it's if you can explain it and kind of just say, hey, here's the two or three main functions of a trust or estate plan. It's pretty simple. Yeah. Once and when we sit down and talk, same thing. We're gonna sit down. You have this big book in front of you that we're gonna sign. It's gonna look overwhelming and like it's a lot, but we'll get through it real fast. And yeah, real easy.
the last thing you want to think about is what happens to your assets when you pass away. The truth is, if you don't make the plan now and something unexpected happens, your loved ones will be left with legal mess. A delayed inheritance could end up being a lot less and extra stress during a time of grieving. So Steven's here from RJP Estate Planning to explain what can go wrong without a proper estate plan and what you can do to avoid it. He'll also share a powerful story of RJP Estate Planning founders Deb Plassett and how she had to overcome personal tragedy for the sake of her two daughters and her business. So Steven, let's talk about creating a estate plan now. Why important now and not later?
Yeah. So tomorrow's not promised. Nobody knows when that time's going to come. When they're going to either pass away, whether it's an accident, illness, um, or become incapacitated. We see that a lot too. People put it off, and then all of a sudden, you know, they have dementia, Alzheimer's, and then at that point, it's hard to get an attorney to draft any legal documents for you when you're not in a sound state of mind. So Nobody can predict, obviously, a heart attack, a stroke, a freak accident. Um, it's too late to create a estate plan after that happens. So you want to get it done first. At RJP, we hear clients always say, "Hey, we've been meaning to do this for years. We've been putting it off." Um, Waiting too long can make your assets vulnerable. People you love aren't protected when you pass away. Your medical wishes wouldn't be honored if you become incapacitated. Like I said, if you own a home or have personal assets of over 75 grand here in Arizona, since Arizona's probate thresholds are really low, uh, you could trigger probate for your family, and that's the last thing people want. Is for a probate. And so we'll explain more why probate's bad, how to avoid it. But likely, what most people need, especially if you own a home or if you have assets more than 75 grand, you need a living trust. So probate is a process legally that can take months to resolve, even years in some cases. You're paying legal fees. Loved ones are going to inherit much less at the end of the day. So ultimately, yeah, you want to have the right estate plans in place to avoid probate.
It's always heartbreaking when people die unexpectedly, especially when it happens more than we think. So, but as you said earlier, millions of people are entering hospice every year. What happens in that situation?
Yeah, so once you're in hospice, oftentimes it's too late. The number one thing I hear from hospice nurses when we talk to hospice people is the biggest regret of most of their patients at the end of life, when they're really thinking about their family and everything. Biggest regret's not having the right estate plan. Protecting your loved ones isn't just about documents. It's not just about finances. It's about peace of mind. So you want to have that peace of mind when that time comes, to know that everything is protected, it's organized, it's going to be a more seamless, cleaner transition after death for your loved ones. You don't want them to be stuck, you know, trying to grieve and mourn, and also putting together all these pieces, or fighting in a legal battle with other family members or the state. So, at RJP Estate Planning, like you said, you meet with Dave Pierce. He's the first person you'll sit down with. That consultation, it's free. It takes anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. He'll review your assets, answer questions. In most cases, recommend a living trust, because the living trust is the best way to, number one, avoid probate, decide how and when your assets are passed down and to who. A trust keeps your affairs private, unlike probate, which is public, which anybody can, creditors, extended family members, anybody can come in there and try to say they're entitled, or argue, drag things out. It also ensures that, to me, one of the most important things, if you become incapacitated, it's clear that you're choosing who your agents are to help make medical decisions on your behalf, and also pay your bills and financial decisions. So, uh, to be clear, a will does not avoid probate. Most people think having a will is enough. I always say you need a living trust. A will is basically what I call an admission ticket to probate court. So a will is what the family takes with them to probate. Uh, a living trust avoids probate.
So, reset for everyone. Why the right time, of course, to do this is now, not later. Why? Like what
Well,
again, the right time for it is now.
I mean, to go back to what we were saying earlier, is life's not static. There's things happen. Nobody knows when today's our last. Tomorrow's not promised. So why put it off? People come in. I say, hey, it's not too late. You're still alive, but tomorrow's not promised. So if you have assets over 75 grand, and if you own a home in Arizona, you need to do it now, because tomorrow is not promised. Um, just to share a quick story, I know you talked about Deb Plassett. She's one of the founders, managing partners. Uh, Tragically, in 2019, her husband passed away suddenly. It was unexpected. Um, Luckily, she had a trust in place. She has two teenage daughters at the time. The trust really, without the trust, who knows what would have happened? I mean, the business might not have passed seamlessly. Um, the assets might have been frozen. Uh, the COVID hit soon after. Her having that trust helped protect the assets, protect her daughters, their college, the business, to ensure that everything can continue to run smoothly, especially with COVID around the corner. So stories like this we hear all the time, but especially coming from the founder of RJP, it's a testament to her believing in what we're doing.
Sure.
Um, RJP, we've helped over 40,000 families in Arizona since 1995. And, we hear stories like that all the time. But hearing that story directly from the founder is pretty powerful.
Well, that's a heck of a story for Deb to stay strong, get her kid through college, and keep the business going. So tell us a little more
Yeah.
about Deb.
Yeah. So, I mean, she comes from a background of a military family. I think her dad was a well respected Navy admiral. She's done a lot of charity work with giving back to military families. So it's really no surprise that Deb's life mission is to help families, especially retirees, plan for the future and have a tool in place, documents in place, the powers in place to really be there to support families when tragedy strikes. So whether it's tragedy or natural death, it doesn't matter. You need those documents in place. So that's what we do to help people plan for their kids and their inheritors' futures with confidence.
Well, this is the important work that people trust. This is the work you guys are doing is why they trust the RJP Estate Planning. So you mentioned that's a comprehensive estate plan. So what's included in a comprehensive estate plan that's just not a living trust?
Yes, I mean you're going to get a binder. It's going to be probably 100 pages thick. It's going to have multiple sections. You're also going to get a flash drive, and you'll see this, later this week. It's going to have each section in a PDF. That way, you can share it with your doctors. Each section's different. So, I always tell clients the first half of the book is what we call the trust. That's after death. So that's saying who are your trustees or executors? Who are the people that are kind of the quarterbacks of the trust? When you pass away, who has the power to sell the property, to follow the rules of the trust, whether the rules are these are the beneficiaries, these are the schedule of payouts. So you have your trustees and you have instructions, the rules. What happens to your assets after death? Part of the trust is a living will. A pour over will. So that's every trust has a built-in will in case something falls through the cracks and you forget to fund to the trust. If something goes to probate, so that's the first half. And it also includes pages you can write on, like these are gift instructions, these are burial instructions. Everything after death, it keeps it very organized for your family, prevents people from arguing. You can always say, if people are arguing, say, no, mom wants to be cremated, no, mom wants to be buried. Let's go look at the page that she wrote on. Here's her instructions. And then the second half of the book has your power of attorney. So those are the documents that you use if you're alive but become mentally incapacitated. You can't make your own decisions. So who do you want to put in charge, either the person or people that are going to represent you in your medical wishes to the doctors, or who's going to maintain your taxes, pay your bills, maintain the estate? So that includes medical and financial power of attorneys. And then last part of that section is your living will, which is life support. So all these documents are in one binder. You tell your family, hey, it's in the closet on the top shelf. If something happens to mom and dad, everything you need is in that book. And then you can call RJP for a free consultation. We'll hold your hand. We'll kind of guide them through the process. So everything's included in that one package, which is pretty cool. So we've helped, like I said, we've done this for 30 years. Right now, we're offering a 65% discount if you're over 60 for that entire package. So give us a call. Like I said, you'll meet with David Pierce for the first hour, gather information, decide if it's right for you, and then you'll meet me potentially at the very end when we talk about funding the trust. So David, then you meet the attorney. Once the trust is done, I'm the last person you meet with. We talk about what do you do with the bank? How do you make sure that your assets are in the trust to avoid probate? I always tell clients the trust has a set of rules. Those rules are applying to whatever assets are owned by your trust. If you don't fund your trust with your assets, then those rules they don't apply. They're a moot point. So each step of the process is very important in protecting your assets and creating that estate plan.
Again, as you said earlier, tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So if you're listening now and you're healthy today, this is your opportunity to protect your family's future. Again, take advantage of RJP Estate Planning's 65% discount on a comprehensive estate plan if you are 60 and older. Call them by this Friday to schedule your consultation. That is 520-386-5959. That is 520-386-5959. All right, sir. Well, I will see you 2 days, I think. I'm thinking of Thursday. I think that sounds right.
Yeah,
So can't wait to
sounds good.
in person, and we'll fund a trust together. Who knew we were going to say that together?
I'm excited.
I am too.
I know it's like a first date.
Have a good day. Keep up the good work, man.
You too, Chris. See you Thursday.
Out of David.
Bye.
All right, that's our friend Stephen Levine from RJP Estate Planning. 520-386-5959. 520-386-5959.